Hi and welcome back to another episode of Rod and Reel UK, and today we're somewhere a little bit different. If the Wizard of Oz was set in the southwest of England, Dorothy would be saying, we're not in Cornwall anymore. Yes,
We are not.
we're definitely not in Cornwall, we are in Yorkshire. Well, just on the border, so yeah, jury's out on that one. But we are in fact on the River Humber after cod, flounder, and if we're really lucky, maybe even a haddock. Anything at the moment would be quite nice. But I'm joined with Rod and Reel Senior. We haven't fished since Scotland together, and hopefully this time you're not going to fall in, or nearly fall in.
Or just get a crab.
Or just catch a crab. Yeah, we are up north again, so yeah, there's a high chance, mate, you're going to get crabs. But never mind, it's one of those. Anyway, enough of us blabbing.
Yeah, let's get fishing.
Let's get fishing set up. After a quick setup, it was a case of just getting rigged and baited up. For today's session, just using those two standard beach casting rods, both armed up with a 20-pound line and an 80-pound shock leader to cope with casting. Right, we're fully set up, so I'll show you what we're using for bait. Got my little cool box. And for today, we are using a bit of a cocktail. So, classic combination up in the Yorkshire coast of had work in the past is squid and black lugworm. But a little secret one that I do think works is this. Yeah, you're probably thinking, what on earth is that you got in your hand? That is mussels. Now, I should have let these fall out a little bit, but I forgot, so never mind. I'm gonna let these try and defrost a little bit, but these make a really good little cocktail, especially on dongle rigs. If you whip them on, it gives you a lot of extra juicy scent. So, let's try it out. After whipping on a little bit of bait, it's just a case of getting out of the water and fishing. Tactics wise, I'm just fishing one rod further out and one rod close in. Hopefully this would find a bite at either of the ranges. Both rods are out in the water now. Rod and Reel Senior's got his two out, and we're just going to hope and see if we can get a bite. I think today's going to be a case of when it gets dark, the fish will start biting. High tide is around 8 o'clock tonight. It's quite a decent sized one. I think it's about 7 meters. So yeah, there's plenty of water to come in and plenty of opportunity to the fish to come up the Humber, hopefully to where we're fishing at. So we'll give it a go and see what we get. They always say age before beauty. In this case, Moustache Senior was in fact the first person to have bites for the day. Hopefully they will turn into something. Right, let's talk rigs. So we are using a little bit different rig today. It's called a Wessex rig. A really good one, especially if you're on a beach trying to find fish. It's almost like a scratching rig, but all you've got essentially is two hooks. You've got a running lead that runs in your main line like so, down to a small length there. Made this one a 60-pound line just to give it a bit of stiffness, down to a small little hook. We've got some squid on the end there. Oh, and some hair. Don't know where that's come from. Bit grim. But yeah, little hook down there. As we said, running lead to a top hook. Again, 60-pound line and a small 2.0 hook. Great rig for finding fish, especially little whiting, little codling, and flounders. Really good one to use. It's quite an old school rig. The only downside is you can't really get too much range out of it because you've got a lot of flapping in the air, but it's a really good one to use and a lot of people overlook it. But we're going to try this one out and see what we can get on it. Unfortunately, the first set of rattles didn't really amount to anything. As you can tell, we are in fact at low water at the moment. River Humber is an absolutely massive estuary and it does expose a lot of mud banks at low water, but these provide excellent habitat for many marine species. We're just near Rod and Reel Senior, and have you had any bites yet?
One good inquiry.
Yeah, a little inquiry earlier I was baiting up, but yeah, it's been a bit quiet since then. So I think your tactics of close in, one far out, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. But I'll tell you what, it's a little bit nippy, isn't it? Yeah.
I've been looking for brass monkeys.
Yeah, it's a little bit cold, so we're going to give it a go. Wrapped up quite warm. Luckily, there's a lovely looking pub just there, so if worse comes to worse, we can just go and get a little hot drink or a little zesty beverage. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As mentioned earlier, we are fishing on the River Humber, and we are at Hull at the moment. So upriver, you've got the Humber Bridge, where the River Ouse and the Trent meet, and all the way down stream, you've got Spurn Point and the Holderness coastline. It's a massive estuary, and it's amazing how much water flows through the bridge every single day. Fingers crossed, there'll be some cod flowing through it when the tide starts to turn, but we won't find out until a bit later. I've got a sneaky feeling I'm going to get bites when it's dark. It always seems to be the case at the moment, and the fish seem to be a little bit more active towards the evenings, but we'll give it a go and see what we can get. However, things were looking up as we both started to have rattles. We were both convinced that soon we'd have our first fish of the day. So Rod and Reel Senior might be into a fish behind me, but I'm going to show you how to bait up mussels. Now, mussels are very, very fragile, so when you are baiting them up, it's good to have plenty of elastic on hand. So what I've done, exactly the same as a black lugworm, is I've sandwiched it together, just like so. And again, just be careful to wrap everything together. And once you've got it started, it's not too difficult. Can be really fiddling, and again, when you are fishing in winter like we are, everything's really cold and slimy, which makes things a little bit more challenging. But there you go, as you can see, I'm starting to form it now. So keep repeating the process until everything's captured and you've got yourself a really, really underlooked cod bait. But I'll get this all whipped on, get the rods out there. Before I could cast, I thought I'd check on Dad, as it did look like he actually had something on the end. We weren't too sure what it was. You think he's on there, or not sure? Oh, I see it. Hopefully it could be a little whiting or something, but we'll soon find out. We'll get it out of the old soupy water. Well, Rod and Reel Senior is into the first fish of the day, and we've got ourselves a lovely little flounder. Now, flounder are a weird looking fish, and as you can tell, they are flat. Quite easy to mistake flounder and plaice, but flounder are a little more mottled, and as you can see, they haven't got the bright orange spots that plaice have. But he's a lovely little fish, so we'll get him unhooked and get him back in the water. Nice one, mate. We're not doing too badly at all. Rod and Reel Senior has just had that flounder, and we're having bites. It's still quite early in all fairness, only fishing probably an hour properly, so it's looking optimistic. Now, I've swapped to a Wessex rig on one of mine, as that Wessex rig did produce a good, I have that flounder. So we're fishing one rod close in and one rod further out after the larger fish like the cod and maybe something else. Determined to catch something thick and chunky, I decided to reel in my main doggle rig and rebait it with a fresh cocktail bait of mussel and squid. Luckily, this particular breakwater has a lot of room to cast, so doing an overhead chuck wasn't too much difficulty at all. Oh, it's getting a little bit nippy. Now, I did alright to be fair. Rod and Reel Senior just reeled in and lost a whiting. Wasn't particularly big, probably yay or so, but it is one of those. Couldn't get it on camera, so can't prove it. But we're having bites, which is good. Again, I'm convinced we're going to get something. And sure enough, the flounder whisperer was into another bite, and this time we were pretty sure we was going to have one on the end. A lot of the times when you're out flounder fishing, you get a decent flounder on the end, you'll see that rod nodding up and down quite a lot. But a lot of times with the small ones, you'll never see anything, and you often have a bit of a surprise when you're reeling in. However, this time we were pretty sure we had something on the end, and it wouldn't take long to find out what it was. A little tiny little flounder. Hey, he may be small, but it's nice to see something on the side. Well, it was all going too well, and for the next couple hours we had absolutely nothing, and it got dark and very cold. Brilliant.
2 hours later.
As you can tell from the light, it is in fact night time. Rod and Reel Senior, he's popped back to cast. It is a little bit nippy, and I've still yet to catch a fish. The tide is really ripping through now, and yeah, it's quite a challenge to hold a 6 and 7 ounce lead. So what I've done now is just done up-tide tactics, casting around 60 yards up, so when that lead drops, it sits in front where I am. There's a big belly of line, so when I do get a bite, the rod will ping up. Well, that's the theory anyway. But it's that time of night where I'm hoping we're going to start getting some bigger fish coming in, feeding along the mud banks. That's where we're fishing. It's just a case of waiting and seeing what we get.
Later.
Well, you can't see him at the moment because he's got camouflage on, but yes, he has emerged out of the car. Are you warmer?
No.
There you go, that's your answer. It's been quite quiet. I was just chatting to a gentleman who's fishing on the jetty the other side of me, and yeah, it's a similar story. Not a lot of bites. We've had those 2 flounder, yet to have anything substantial, and I've not even had a fish yet. It's been Senior that's had most of the luck today, other way around from Scotland for the last trip. we had together, but it is what it is. We're gonna give it probably another 3 hours, see what happens, and probably pack up and drive back home with some warm food and something warm to drink. With yet another embarrassing cast that almost made my trousers fall off this time, it was a case of waiting it out. But in all honesty, it was absolutely freezing and we were thinking of packing up soon. So what I've just done is an up-high cast, hoping that lead is going to land in front of us when it settles in. Because it is quite a strong current, so fingers crossed, that should do the job. Anyway, let's see if we get a bite. Well, the fishing's been pretty dire. The last couple of hours, we've just not had any bites. We had a bit of action at the start, and I think it's flounders I've been doing most of it today, but yeah, it's got really quiet now, and I think they're packing up soon. So we've put one rod away. We're going to fish with the Wessex rigs just for a little bit longer to see if we can get something in the last moments. Oh, it's not looking promising though, but let's see what happens. And finally, after absolutely ages of nothing happening, I finally had a decent bite and I was into something pretty good. Unfortunately, due to just bad luck, it come off. I was absolutely fuming. And yeah, I just packed up there and then on the spot because I was absolutely gutted I lost it. Having said that, you can't win at fishing all the time. And at least my dad caught something today, which made up for the whole trip. I was just really glad to see something on the side. That's it, we've had enough. It's cold. It's been rubbish the last 3 hours, isn't it? But it is freezing. So I think we're gonna pack up and just head home because yeah, I don't want to stay out here any longer. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah, we both agree. But hey, it's one of those. At least Dad caught 2 fish, and I blanked today, which yeah, that sucks. But never mind. I'm glad you got the flounder, and to be honest, it was the opposite way around in Scotland. Yeah. I caught all the fish, and you blanked out the crab.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly. But anyways, if you guys liked the video and like what you've seen, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and we'll see you wherever we are on our next adventure. Despite it being a fairly quiet session, an absolutely great time filming up in Yorkshire. If you guys enjoyed the video as much as we had filming it, don't forget to check out our Instagram for some more fishing related shenanigans, and our other playlist on YouTube where you can find some more content on how-tos and fishing from around the country. And as always, we'll see you on our next adventure.